Um, where do you even start with this? First off, I'm still alive. Shout out to anybody that watches this in the replay. I didn't know if I was gonna make this video. I didn't know if I was gonna talk about this. If anybody would even care to hear, about what's going on as far as me getting COVID. The COVID vaccination, my first dose. But being a minority, a black male, I figured this would be something that would be worth saying, worth talking about, giving my honest reaction. I do have my COVID-19 card here. I gotta go back. You can see it in Spanish. I don't want to show my name on the other side. Well, you can see my thing here, so I have it. I don't want to show my whole name on there and all my information. But as far as taking the vaccination, all the details about what's going on. You know all the stuff online. You could do the homework for yourself. I encourage people to do the homework and find out for yourself, because it's a personal choice whether or not you're going to get the COVID-19 vaccination. It's something I should say to everybody to look into, even if it's something that you're not going to do. I won't be on here too long, but long enough to make an impact, long enough to say where I come from and why I chose to get the vaccination, why I chose to do it. Because I do work around a lot of people. I do have loved ones and people that I care about, that I felt like, okay, if there's a possibility of me contracting the COVID-19 virus in any shape, form, or fashion, then I need to particularly be mindful of the fact that if there's anything that I could do to prevent the people around me that I love, that I care about, from getting it, then I would take it. But I also understand, being a minority, or quote unquote minority, but somebody from the black community, the history of vaccinations and the abuses in, American society and the history of the country, more specifically syphilis, the Tuskegee Airmen. Those are things that you can research and find out, and eugenics or sterilizations of different populations. So I'm acknowledging all those particular things that happen as far as, those concerns, and being from different communities, whether you're Jewish, whether you're black, whether you're Hispanic, gay, or just an anti-vaxxer. I definitely understand that, and I don't discount that. That's why I say it's a personal decision, and I won't knock anybody or judge anybody whether you do or you don't. It's a personal decision. So with me knowing what I know and seeing the things that I've seen, and just, trusting, what I've heard, I chose to do it. And I could talk about my honest reaction to it. Obviously, I'm still alive. I got the vaccination on the 8th of this month. And, I was going through some things. My blood pressure was up, and I was just going for, routine checkup. And it's a good thing that I did go. And I just happened to get the vaccination because things were starting to open up a little bit more, and they were releasing it to other people. And somebody had dropped off the list and they asked me, did I want the vaccination? So it was a split second decision. Obviously, I had to make the choice between the Moderna, or I don't think they gave me a choice, but it was the Moderna that was available. Some people have issues with the Moderna versus the Pfizer, because the Pfizer uses certain, if I'm not saying, I don't know if it's stem cell or certain blood, and there are people religiously who don't believe in using blood or anything that may come from a fetus, or anything that may be questionable in the use of blood inside the vaccination. So for some people, the Pfizer is not the way. And I took the Moderna because that was available, and that's where I was going with it, and it was a split second decision, and it's something that I didn't think twice about, because I think I had knew enough, or felt comfortable enough with the science. I felt comfortable enough with the people that I was dealing with, especially with the clinic that I was going to, that I trusted it enough to say, okay, let me take this vaccination and go from there. And I actually took a couple of vaccinations, to be honest with you. Thank you for the thumbs up for the person that's watching, for the people that are watching. I took my third shot of hepatitis B, tetanus shot, I took the flu vaccination at the same time, and I took my first dose of the COVID-19 vaccination. So I got to go back. Let me see, on April the 5th. So I went, the 8th of this month, which is March. And then I got to go back on the 5th of April, so there's days in between, because there's two doses for the Moderna and the Pfizer, which and then there's the Johnson and Johnson. All these things are personal decisions. I don't beat anybody down if they don't want to do it. I understand. I totally get it. May wonder about people of color or how people from different communities feel. So this is just me expressing, my reaction, my opinion, what went down, what happened. This is about talking about what actually happened, on that day and the days, like coming afterward, subsequently afterward. So I go in there, get the vaccination. Didn't really think too much of it. One of the reactions of getting the vaccination is they hit me in this arm right here. So it was a couple of vaccines that I got in this arm, and it was like I told you, it was hepatitis B, tetanus shot, and all that. The thing I wasn't prepared for with getting the vaccination was that how sore my arm would be. It's actually still a little bit sore, which is a normal side effect of it. No, I didn't grow a third arm, as some people probably, are thinking, you're going to grow a third arm or something's going to happen to you, or, I became strange. Yes, I took a Sherry K. I took the vaccination. I have it right here. I just got to make sure. Yeah, I guess you don't mind my first. So I got the vaccine right here. That's my card right there. So you can see that I'm not making this up. So yeah, I went on the 8th of this month, and I got to go on the 5th of next month. So basically, when I went to take the vaccine, it was a couple of pokes with the needle and whatnot. I'm not thinking about it. There was a consent form that you have to sign. That's, some people say it's controversial, just in case anything happens to you. The hospital is not liable, and they try to cover themselves and stuff like that. So there was a consent form that you signed saying that, with you taking this vaccine, the hospital is not liable or anything of that nature, just in case I fall out and do die. God forbid anything of that nature happens. And I didn't believe that I was going to die from it. I don't think I'm going to die from it. I don't feel strange. I don't feel different. Gosh, and I pray you don't make you sick. Well, the thing, Sherry Kate, I'm not going to say I didn't call for a sneeze here, there, and I thank you for your prayers or anything like that. I personally took it, like I said, because if it was anything that I could do to prevent anybody around me from getting sick, because I deal with thousands of people on a regular basis. I'll see more people in a week than most people may see in their lifetime, So if you're dealing with thousands of people, you try to do the best that you can to protect yourself and protect those around you within reason. If it was something that I felt that was totally unsafe, I wouldn't have taken the vaccination. It wouldn't have been something that I choose to do. Nobody forced me to take it. Nobody paid me to take it. I wasn't cajoled. I wasn't coerced. I wasn't, made to feel like this is something that I needed to do. But at the same time, I respect people's decisions and right not to go and get the COVID-19 vaccination, especially with different variants and stuff that are floating around out there. I get it. I totally get it. But even with those people out there that don't want to take it, I would encourage you to study the science, do your homework, know why you would or you wouldn't take this vaccination, knowing that the vaccine that I took is not the actual coronavirus. It's the protein of the virus that's being injected into my arm that is attacking, certain cells and putting up a defense just in case. What's going on, George? Appreciate you. Yeah, no, I get it, Sherry Kate. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all good. The point I'm just trying to make with this, with taking it, is that it's a personal decision. Do your homework. Know where you stand on it. And like I said, I don't judge anybody. Hopefully you don't judge me, but if you do, I still already took it. So it's what it is. But the point I'm trying to say is that that's up to you to figure out what you need to do, what's best for you and your family. Because I spoke to a cop one time. I spoke to a cop a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how his wife is having a baby. So, they're not sure about her taking it, her being pregnant. So I get that. If you're pregnant or nursing, and you don't want to take the vaccine, I definitely get it. Or if you have a significant other or loved one that's pregnant or nursing, and they don't want to take the vaccine, I get it. You shouldn't be forced to have to take the vaccine. There'll be some issues if you want to do international travel, if you work for the federal government, or if you work in, real sensitive situations. It's crazy. I got my first shot Tuesday. It's better to be safe than sorry. Yes, George, I definitely agree. It's better to be safe than sorry. But again, I get the anti-vaxxers. I get the people that are, worried about it. I get the people that understand, the history of the country, when it comes to, different vaccines and syphilis and the Tuskegee Airmen and all that stuff. So I just tell people, do your homework. If you're going to say no to the vaccine, if you're going to say no to it, understand what it means. It's like I was saying to my mother. I was like, everybody doesn't have to take it, but somebody has to take it because they have billions of dollars that they're putting out there. And there are vulnerable people in the society. There are elderly people. There are people who are immune compromised. There are people who have actually died from this coronavirus, regardless of what you feel about it, whether you feel it's built and manufactured in Wuhan, China, or if you felt like it came from Europe, or if you felt like it was an American thing, or if you felt like it was something that came from Africa or Brazil. Whatever the case may be, it's important to understand that it is a conversation and a situation worth tackling, and just doing independent research and verifying for yourself what it is, that's going on with this whole coronavirus and the vaccine and whether or not you should take it. I think, honestly, regardless of whether you take it or not, as long as you're well informed about coronavirus, about the vaccine, about how it will affect you and how it could possibly affect your family and your community, then hey, have at it, make your decision. But regardless of whether or not you take it or don't take it, and I'm reiterating this, make an informed decision. I made an informed decision before I, took the coronavirus, vaccine. I didn't just walk in there blindly and saying, hey, stick me in the arm, I'll take it, and now I'm turning into a mutant. No, so I'm not turning into anything. I'm still me. I'm still Mel. So, but the point is, it's a personal decision and it's up to you. But back to what happened today, I went there just to talk about it because I was getting sidetracked. So when I went in there and they hit me in the arm, because they hit me in both arms because I was getting multiple vaccinations at the same time. And to answer the question, yes, you can get the coronavirus vaccination and the flu shot at the same time and still be alive. I'm still alive. I will be alive years from now. So I'm not going to die because of these vaccines. It's not going to happen. I trust in the science. I believe that I'll still be around, and I'm just trying to do what's best for me, my family, my community, trying to be responsible. That's just where I'm coming from. And I don't judge anybody out there if you choose not to do that. But back to what I was saying that day. So on the 8th, earlier this month, I got stuck in the arm. The one thing I will tell people, for those that get the vaccination, is be prepared for some soreness in your arm. Everybody has different, effects. I was a little bit more I was a little bit more tired than usual. It depends on your health and where you are and how you maneuver and whatnot. But I was a little bit more tired than usual. That could have been because of other things that were going on with me at the time. Maybe I was a little dehydrated. I don't know. But there was a soreness, which I even still feel today. Today is what day? Let me see. I should know the day. Today is the 13th. So I got it on the 8th. So, even a few days later, saying here, you feel better by the third day. And George, not to say that I felt bad. It was just that the thing that caught me off was the soreness. It was the soreness of the shots, because I got vaccines before, and you feel them a little bit, but I didn't realize how like how sore my arm was gonna be. It felt like I was working out. For anybody that I need to go work out. For anybody that's ever lifted weights before, if you ever worked out on your shoulders, if you ever did jumping jacks, if you ever did push-ups, or you ever did what do you call it? And I should know this. This should show you I need to be in the gym. What's up, Victory Leo? I'm not getting the vaccine after what happened to my uncle. Understandable. Sorry that happened to your uncle. It's also a personal decision. So let me address that right quick. I understand it's a sensitive issue for those folks out there that may have lost loved ones, and I get it. So like I said, it's a personal decision. Yeah. Again, rest in peace, Victory, to your uncle. And sorry, I've had an uncle that passed away from it too. So me and you can relate. I had an uncle that passed away from coronavirus. I had a friend that passed away from coronavirus. And there's other subsequent people that passed away from coronavirus. So I do take time to acknowledge that it may be a sensitive issue for a lot of people who have lost loved ones and whatnot. And I tell anybody, you're not expected to have to take it. So that's crazy. I'm going to wait to see the effects of the first shot. Well, yeah. Well, you can do that, Sherry K. I mean, well, that's one of the reasons why, I step up, took the shot, because I want people to see that, hey, look, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna live. And everybody's anatomy, everybody's biology is different. So, or meaning they'll respond differently to different things. So if you feel like this is something that you can't do, or you're scared, or this is something that may affect you in a way, then you don't have to take it. At least they're not forcing anybody to take it. The politics behind it, I don't agree with, having people, have to show, ID cards, or, have to, be forced to take a certain vaccination, because I look at it almost like the flu vaccination. With the flu vaccination, people don't take the flu vaccine every year, but, it's out there. So, it's a choice. It's a person's choice. Maybe coronavirus will become, the vaccine will become like the flu vaccination, where it's available, but you don't have to take it. My mom had a reaction to the flu shot this year, and the first time it's happened before. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Victory Leo. I mean, everybody has different reaction to different things. You have to study your body, sit down with your physician, because I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I have to say that, just in case anybody wants to sue. I'm not giving out any medical advice. I'm not telling anybody what they have to do, what they should or shouldn't do. Whatever you do is a personal choice and totally up to you. Like I said, this is not medical advice. This is not consultation of any type. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just telling people what I did and what I made happen and how I felt about it. Yeah, Victory Leo. So I'm sorry that happened with your mother and your uncle and anybody else that may be affected by coronavirus. I'm sorry. And let's talk about the other side of it, because I'm glad that was brought up. Let's talk about the side of it where people have passed away or they have died from taking, the vaccine. They have had a certain reaction to it. That is a chance that you do take. That is something that you have to know your body, and you have to say, well, do you feel comfortable taking the vaccine? If you don't feel comfortable taking it, then don't take it. If you feel comfortable taking it, then taking it. Again, it's a personal choice. I'm not telling you what to do. Specifically. Just make sure, if anything, make an informed decision about what you want to do. About what you think is right for yourself, for your community, for your family. Because, like I said, again, like I was talking to the police officer. I was talking to a police officer about this, and he was saying how his wife is pregnant. So, what do? You tell your wife to get, the coronavirus vaccine, not knowing how it would affect the baby. What if it passes on to the baby, and, there's some, birth defects or side effects or whatever the case may be. So you don't want that to happen. And then, what if you bring something home to your child? So I don't have any kids, so I don't have to worry about that. Like my brother, he has kids, so maybe that's something that he doesn't really want to deal with, or maybe that's something that my niece and nephew doesn't want to deal with. And my other niece, she has kids, so my adult niece, so she has kids, so maybe that's not something she wants to deal with, as it pertains to her and her household. Everything is a personal decision, because I have people in my family who are not taking the coronavirus vaccination. They're not. They said, Mel, okay, that's you. Great. I get it. I'm glad that you're safe. Hopefully you feel healthy. People are saying that they're praying for me. I know personally I'm going to be okay, but I understand my situation. I understand my body. I know, certain guarantees, and I have faith and belief that I'll be here tomorrow. I will be here tomorrow. Maybe not on the live stream, but you'll see me again. And I'll be looking quite all right. If anything, to tell you the truth, after I got the vaccination, I felt better than I did in a couple of weeks, but that's because of some other personal stuff that was going on, which I'm not going to get into in the midst of this live stream. But the key thing about it is that, again, and I can't reiterate this enough, it's a personal decision. It's a personal decision as far as what you want to do. And I think in this instant, if you feel like there's something, there's no right or wrong way. Uh, hope everyone gets the third stimulus soon. Well, yes, that's a whole other separate issue, but the stimulus will make a lot of people feel better. I'm looking forward to that third stimulus. That's a whole other conversation for a whole other time. So I tell people, because I'm glad you brought that up, Victory Leo. Spend your money wisely. Spend your money wisely. Don't spend it all in one place. There's some people that are gonna go crazy and do all the crazy stuff and whatnot. Don't, if anything you do, just be mindful that the money will run out. But back to this whole thing with the coronavirus vaccination. Um, Again, I took the shot. I feel fine. There's nothing going on with me. I mean, you sneeze here, there, had a little bit of mucus here, there because I took the shot, the flu shot as well. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that there was no sneezing or nothing here, there. I had a little sneezing, a little cough, stuff like that, a little soreness in my arm. But it wasn't anything where I felt like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Should I be writing my last will and testament? I'm done. I'm out for the count. Also, on a positive note, me and my mom moved into a better apartment. Well, congratulations to you and your mom, Victory Leo. That's always a good thing when you can, secure, good housing at this time, especially with rent moratoriums and people being evicted all over the place because of coronavirus. That is definitely a big thing. So, yeah, like I said, if there's any takeaway from this that I would want to leave people with, is that you should make an informed decision. You shouldn't just go by what you hear in the media. You shouldn't just go by, popular opinion and conspiracy theories. I'm not growing a third arm. I only have two arms. I don't have a third eye, unless you want to call it the mind. But the thing about it is, find out for yourself. Be informed for yourself when you take the shot. My honest reaction to the shot is that I'm quite all right. I'm okay. I'm not dead. I'm not dying. I don't feel like I'm dying. I'm not coughing up a lung. I'm not strung out somewhere. I will be here today, tomorrow, and the day afterward. But again, I understand the concerns about side effects, long-term side effects, and how it may affect you moving forward, and the different variants out there, the different strains, whether it be from Brazil, from Africa, from London, wherever it may come from. And we take chances. Like I said to somebody, you're going to take more chances walking outside your door every day, depending on where you live. What's going on, Tash? How you doing? How's everything with you? Appreciate you. Thank you for stepping through. Wow. Wow. Hey, shout out to you. But yeah, it's simple like that. It's just one of those things where you look at it and you say to yourself, you know what? Either you're gonna make an informed decision and choose to do it, or you make an informed decision and not choose to do it. But whatever reason you maneuver into, make sure it's something that you want to do. Make sure it's something that's going to benefit you. Let me see also too. Oh, if there's any questions out there before I go, if anyone wants to know anything, please feel free. Please feel free to ask the questions. The only reason we was able to stimulus. Well, that's cool. That's cool, Victory Leo. I'm glad that worked out for you. I'm glad that worked out for you as far as moving and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody has any questions. If anybody has any questions, you can ask it here in the comments before I go. Or if anybody makes it to this point, you can ask it in the comment section after this video uploads. I'll be open and transparent about what's going on, about what happens, because I don't want to, in the interest of time, I don't want to get too long-winded on you. But shout out to the replay gang for anybody that makes it this far. Any questions that you may have, any concerns that you may have, feel free to ask. And basically this is my experience based off of how I took it. This is based off of what I did. The situation is not indicative of what will happen in any other situation. I can't promise that you take the vaccine that you'll be okay. I can't promise that you won't be okay. But I say, regardless of what you do, regardless of how you feel, make an informed decision for yourself. That's the best thing I could tell you. And that I'm all right. Thank you for the prayers. Anybody that's praying for me, anybody that's, wanting to see me through and hoping that I'm okay and I'm all right. Definitely. I appreciate it. So on that note, I thank folks for watching. I appreciate you for coming by. Definitely be safe, you and your family. Make sure you're taking all the precautions. Still wear the mask. Still socially distance. This is not the time to let up. Until this thing is over, and then hopefully see you on the other side. And on that note, spread love is the Brooklyn way. Yep.